Yo, what's good, everybody? You see the title of the video. I don't want to take too long before getting into it, but I have to address a couple things at the top. I messed up. Okay, I said I wanted to do some every week on this channel, and wouldn't you know, third weekend, I didn't burn my deadline. My bad. I kind of got wrapped up in my own consumption. I'm not gonna lie. Got some project kind of stuff going on behind the scenes. Your boy's trying to get out of the stay-at-home dad life. You know what I'm saying? Like I did my time, put the foundation in, and slowly transitioning out of it. That's part of what this channel is, low key. Um, and yeah, man, other stuff like Marvel dropped the Doomsday trailer. Been waiting on that. Super hyped for that. Got tickets together to go see Spider-Man with the kids this weekend. And I watched Obsession. Me and the wife watched Obsession. Loved it. But yeah, so yeah, I've been a little distracted. Not super locked in with hip hop news this week or last week. But yeah, man, I did want to get on here and rap with y'all a little bit about this the way we talk about numbers in this space. And like the last few videos, as it seems, it seems to be the case in this channel. The common denominator is trying to elevate the discourse a little bit, right? So we did get Rick Ross dropped his latest joint. I still haven't heard it. I'm not really a massive Ross fan, if I'm honest with you. Like I was always kind of not really rocking with the using another man's name and he's alive, and he's actually the one that carries that legacy. That yeah, it is what it is. Like I like him as a figure, but yeah, I was never really a fan of that. Um, and now it, you know, yeah. Anyway, he was getting clowned a bit by 50 and others for apparently having some low projected album sales for the first week. And while this video and the content of it doesn't really pertain to that, like I mean, it is what it is. Not for nothing, Ross, and especially 50, but Ross is, if not a perpetrator of this bad discourse on numbers, first week numbers, he has certainly benefited from it. Like he comes from an era where, excuse me, I'm sorry, he comes from an era where that was still a prominent part of the discussion, and it's a prominent part of the discussion today. I guess back then, though, at least Cass was actually selling records a little bit. Anyway, yeah, people are kind of clowning for selling low first week, and I'm just like, man, listen, whether it came from 50, it did in my view, it came from 50 Cent. Like I don't remember in high school there was the conversations and the quality and the debates and the barbershop talk before 50 and after 50. You know what I mean? Like after Get Rich or Die Trying hit us in Ohio, yeah, Cass was not talking about rap the same, man, like, or music the same. And it's kind of been like that for since then, but it got a lot worse once we got to the internet and the academics era. And the qualities got, at least back then, again, it was physical sales being moved. Like if 50 sold 1 million records, like that people put up $10 for them albums. Now, yeah, even if the label was putting up some money for them albums, like it was just a bit more tangible, you know what I'm saying? And now it's just, yeah, with the streams and all that, it is weird. But I want to get to some stuff, because here's the thing, man. We talk about first week sales in rap in the hip hop space as if like it carries the same kind of like weight as the opening weekend in the box office space, right? Now again, there's what is that term? Is that fungibility? I'm not sure. Like, but yeah, it's a physical product there when it comes to you paying for your movie ticket, you going to the theater to see the movie. It's definitely a different feel than it is with in hip hop. And not for nothing, you're going to return to music a lot more often, right? Than you will a movie. I mean, well, at least you can, because most albums are you know an hour on the high end, like maybe an hour and a half or something. You got Cole bugging out with like the 2 hour joint. Um, but yeah, like it's a much more digestible and easier consumed product, music relative to movies. However, like, because of the extremely high budgets, well, it's because of a lot of things, but in part because of the extremely high budgets in the Hollywood space, those films, and because of the marketing, a big part of the budget is the marketing. Those films are able to, like, swing, three, four, five, seven, $1 billion, right? Like $1 billion in a weekend. You know what I'm saying? And that's a very impressive feat. Although I think they were saying that Avengers Doomsday needs to do like 1.5 billion to break even. Like, I don't. Anyway, in hip hop, specifically in hip hop, we have to remember, man, that, like, there's a few things at play here. Number one, in the hip hop space, remember, the whole music industry before the streaming era was in shambles. Okay, you had the Napster and the LimeWire and the Pirate Bay and all that stuff. Like, nobody was paying for music. Nobody. Okay, the only people that were actually making money, the only type of artists that were making money on music were in the white spaces, like the pop, the country, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Rock, even a little bit. But in hip hop, nah, man. Like it was bone dry out here. You know what I mean? And the streaming, changed that. Now we got this legitimate path to get music, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't think we've done a good job squaring the circle when it comes to, the commercial performance or streaming performance, and how it indicates or equates to not even just the quality of the work, but like interests in a lot of ways, right? Because, and again, a lot of these flaws carried back even to the 50 era, in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, when there is more of a prominence in physical sales, or more emphasis on physical sales. Even then, it's like, well, just because you sold X amount in the first week don't necessarily mean that the album was good, or that anybody was super checking for it. Like, maybe there's something that's going on in the media cycle that made you more, exciting or whatever, and that's why people came through and showed up. So that gets to my first point. I wonder how much more benefit we would gain in the numbers conversation if we look past that first week, right? Like, look at the second, the third. Like, what's the drop offs looking like? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's going to give us a more qualitative indicator in terms of, like, how people are feeling about the work, how it's moving, how it's sticking, right? Because again, man, anybody, and especially with the streams, cats is botting, cats got, all type. Like, you got these weird campaigns now with the clips. I mean, depending on what platform you're on, maybe them clips themselves are like contributing. Like, it's just messy and weird, and really unfortunate that a contingent of the fandom puts such a strong emphasis on first week sales when it's so easy to game, and so, ultimately kind of bereft of value. There's a dearth of value. Sorry, I was writing today, so yeah, we're using the 10-letter words today. But yo, going back to the point, I think second week sales, third week, and like how the drop off is occurring is probably a stronger indicator. And by the way, too, I'm sorry for all the tangents, but by the way, if you know me, I am not a numbers guy. Okay, I am a writer. If I'm anything, and numbers and math, like, it hits me like it hits homie from Hunter x Hunter. You know what I mean? If you've seen that, if you know, you know. But even I can tell, like, when analysis is bad, number analysis, statistical analysis is bad. Now, the next thing I wanted to bring up was actually something that I found kind of heartening about the Drake and the Iceman rollout over the early in the summer, where there was a lot of numbers. There's still a lot of numbers talk. Yeah, some of it might be fugazi. I don't know. Whatever. But one of the interesting things was you had people comparing, down to like the hour almost of the GNX performance on this launch and the Drake numbers with the Iceman launch, And yeah, again, that was mostly because of the battle and the weird tribalism that's going on with that's probably never gonna leave us with that battle, but it was at least a more interesting and more um, what's the word, more complete engagement with his streaming performance in that first week. Right, here's the first day. Here's how many listeners he got. Here's the songs and where those listeners were going, and then we saw them comparing that to Kendrick's over the same period. And people were pointing out, oh well, this is with less tracking because I don't think Kendrick dropped GNX on a Friday. I think that was I forget when he dropped it, but it was not a Friday. It was maybe it was a Friday. I don't know. Regardless, he dropped it outside of the tracking period, so there's streams on it that were left on the table, and he didn't put "Not Like Us" on it or any of the battle songs. So, which is not the same as Drake not putting those on because they're 2 years old at this point. For Kendrick, that would have been a pretty nice boost, pretty relevant boost, and he didn't do it. But neither here nor there. That was a more in-depth and thoughtful discussion and engagement with numbers for once. Excuse me. Um, but the other thing is to get bigger into more catalog discussions when we're talking about, because again, a lot of people like to compare, a lot of Drake fans especially like to compare the position of the artist based on how much they're streaming monthly or all time or whatever. And it's like, okay, are we looking at how much material there is on the DSPs for one artist to another? Are those numbers comparable? Right? If we're looking at the total like streams, if the difference is only say 20%, 15% between the top and the second, but the actual um, volume of material that is being streamed is 2x or more, I don't know if it's really appropriate to just be like, oh well, the number one guy, he's the number one guy, and like, yeah, I'm talking about Drake and I'm talking about Kendrick. Okay, to be fair, but it's one of the things about the numbers discourse that bothers me when it comes to those two, is that Kendrick has, I think, legitimately like half of the catalog at this point that Drake has on DSPs, and all time he is only behind by like, it's like he's got 50% less streamable material, but the gap is not 50% between him and Drake. It's like 20. I think if Drake got like 100 million some streams, and Kendrick's got like 80. You know what I mean? Like it's not a big difference. So what does that mean? You know what I mean? That means something. Like, it don't necessarily mean that Kendrick is better or more commercially viable. Excuse me, but it does indicate something. You know what I mean? And I would like to just see more of the space engaging with what that could be, right? Because here's what's gonna happen. At some point this year, 2026, we're in July, or we're at the end of July 2026 right now, as of recording. At some point, we're gonna get another Kendrick album, more than likely. Okay. As of right now, the rumor mill has it being, some type of boxing themed uh, thing. We'll see. We'll see. And this whole numbers discourse is going to start up again. Okay. It's going to be annoying again. All right. I'm hoping, and I do believe that Kendrick fans do a little bit better job with this, but I'm hoping that the next time we have two big, or not even just if it's just Kendrick. Let's say Jay drops, like, 'cause he's also rumored to drop an album this year. Let's say he drops. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same as like using Kendrick as an example, because the people who are going to be the most negative toward the Jay-Z drop right now are going to also be the same folks who will be negative toward the Kendrick drop. It is what it is. But I really hope that we get past this idea that, like, oh, the whatever they do in the first week, like that's just the end all be all, and the most important indicator of interest in the work and their position in the game or whatever. And it's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not, man. It's not, because even with the people like in academics or whatever, you will hear him say like, "Oh, the best rapper is like a Black Thought. He brings Black Thought up a lot." What is the Roots doing first week? You know what I'm saying? What have they ever done first week? And how much does that stop them from being the cultural force that they are? You know what I mean? Like they're doing the Fallon show for a minute, right? So and that's not even to speak on all the work they like all like with Dilla and every. Come on, man! Like legendary group. Even if you go back, and this is the thing too, because the further you go back into the hip hop, like into the lexicon of like iconic hip hop music during the early '90s, mid '90s, into the 2000s when it did get a bit more commercial. You do not see strong commercial performance. You just don't. You know what I'm saying? What is this? My device is too warm. Um, I don't know what that thing is talking about. It's all good though, because this yap is coming to a close. Point is, man, a lot of the criticisms of the numbers discourse still stand. Is not. It don't make a lot of sense in this space in the first place, bro. It really don't. It never did. But if we're gonna do it, let's at least have better comparisons, better analysis, and more like sophisticated understanding of what the indicators could be, right? Going back to Drake as an example, if you're seeing, 60-70% drop from day one to day three, all within that first week, right? Like the headline probably shouldn't be like, oh, he did like 7 billion first week, first week streams. If you're seeing that massive swing in just a couple of days, it's like, yo, okay, that's not a strong indicator of staying power, or I don't know. Like it means something. Again, it means something. So anyway, that's all I really have for y'all on that topic. We might revisit this one because it's something I have been thinking about quite a bit, and it might not be best suited for like just this kind of car yap format. But again, I wanted to get something out there, and it is something I've been thinking about. I have a few things I've been thinking about. But we're gonna watch the news cycle this week, see what else pops up. Might try and get y'all a second one. We'll see. But yeah, again, my bad for lapsing. And maybe I don't know. Who knows? I don't know if it's proper YouTube etiquette to cover different topics on the same channel. I know Rob Mark may end up having to split his comic channel with his music one. Maybe I have to do something like that because I got a lot of stuff I like to to spend time on, and I have a lot of opinions on. Again, I mentioned the Avengers and all that stuff. I got a lot of opinions on that right now, and the discourse on that. It's also kind of lame how people are talking. Uh, in video games and all that stuff, like we'll see, we'll see. But yo, man, yeah, y'all get it, y'all knock it off with the first week numbers thing, man. Seriously, like please, like if we're going again, we're gonna talk numbers. Let's find more to talk about than just what is happening in the first 5 days, 7 days or whatever of tracking, bro. Like please, it's just kind of lame and boring, bro. Because again, a lot of these guys who do all these crazy first week numbers, like where they at right now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the hottest song right now? It ain't. I ain't gonna even get into the tribal stuff. Anyway, peace out. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate it. Stay tuned.